Okay, we all know what you're here for. Let's talk numbers. I make Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by today's title, we are going to be discussing my very first paycheck from YouTube, and honestly, I did not think that this day was ever going to come, let alone be paid out by YouTube or any social media platform for that matter. Now, I know that there is this perception that it's either extremely easy to make money off of YouTube or painfully hard. And while either statement can be true, I am living proof that you can actually make money off of YouTube with a subscriber count less than 2,000. At this point, we all know that we can make money off of YouTube, but I feel like people still do not understand the dynamics or how you make money off of YouTube. And there's still this stigma of YouTubers not being, a real job or not being a actual career choice. But if this is something that you're really passionate about, I say go for it. Do not let fear stop you. There are several ways in which you can generate money off of YouTube, whether that's through sponsorships, affiliated marketing such as Amazon or Like to Know It, or what we're going to be talking about today, which is Google AdSense. I'm going to be totally frank with you. You're not going to generate any income as soon as you start off your channel. It's going to take a couple of months, if not a few years, before you can actually start seeing some profitable income or even be monetized. We are going to be covering a little bit of basics in today's video. The number one thing is that YouTube does get paid by the ads placed in their videos. There is no set rate. It depends on like the video content or even the topics. And there's other factors that play into it, such as your CPM and RPM. CPM is just cost per mil, and RPM is a new feature that YouTube has just incorporated, which is revenue per mil or revenue per 1,000 views. In order to be monetized, we all know that you have to have 4,000 hours of watch time as well as 1,000 subscribers, and you have to meet that requirement within a year. Now, most people do think that it is a year from when they start their channel, but personally, I think that it is a year from your most viewed video. At least that's how it worked out for me. I do have a video that goes into more depth and in detail about the YouTube monetization process and my experience with it, so I will link it up in the iCards for you guys as well as in the description bar down below. A little bit about my timeline. I did start off my YouTube channel back in October of 2018, and I reached my 4,000 hours by November of 2019, and I was fully monetized by June of this year. And I know that both numbers can seem quite daunting, but it is very doable for me. The videos that did very well on my channel were my motherhood content, my apartment tour, some of the shop with me videos that were at either Walmart, Hobby Lobby, Target, or even TJ Maxx. And then I had other miscellaneous videos that did very well on my channel, which were my makeup and Netflix series review. A pro tip that I do want to give you guys is that you definitely want to make your videos as long as possible, because it has been proven that the YouTube algorithm favors YouTube videos that are about 10 minutes or more. There are several steps into the YouTube monetization process. You have to agree to their terms and conditions, create advertiser-friendly content, and you have to set up a Google AdSense account and link that to your YouTube account. For me, it took about 3 days for my channel to be reviewed and approved, but there have been other creators on here that have their channel has either taken maybe a couple of weeks to maybe a couple of months, which is a rarity. But YouTube does state that it does take a month in order for them to review your channel as a whole. You can choose what type of ads and where to place them in your videos. However, you cannot choose the type of advertisers, meaning that the type of ads that you are allowed to choose from are either skippable, non-skippable, or overlays. And a new feature that YouTube has rolled out is that now you no longer need to have a 10-minute video in order to have an ad placed right in the middle of your video. You can now have that option with a video of 8 minutes or longer. A app that I highly recommend that you guys download is the YouTube Studio app. It actually tells you an estimate of your revenue. It's not the exact amount, but it does give you an idea of what you will be making in that month. It also allows you to see your subscriber count, answer your comments through the app, and you can edit the title and the description and put in tags and do all of like the back end stuff of YouTube through the app. So again, I highly recommend that you guys download it. Another thing to keep in mind is that YouTube pays only once a month and on the 21st of every single month. Sometimes it will vary, it will depend on the month. Sometimes it'll be on the 22nd, 23rd, or 24th, but usually it is around those days, so that's where you can expect to be paid. And the thing you have to keep in mind is that the revenue that you are making in this month, let's say the revenue in December, you will not see it in December. You will actually see that the following month in January. And then January's revenue, you will see that in February, and so on and so forth. You also have to keep in mind that you have to meet a threshold of $100 in order to be paid out by Google AdSense. And don't worry, if you don't meet that $100 threshold, that money will go and roll over to the next month when you finally do meet that requirement. I know that $100 can seem a lot, especially for us smaller content creators. It does take us a while to reach that requirement, but trust me, you guys will get there. Whether it's 1 cent or $1, trust me, it all adds up and you will eventually be paid. Definitely make sure that you are putting in the right address into your Google AdSense account, because that's what happened to me, where I completely put in a different address and I did not get my PIN from Google AdSense until literally this month in December. So make sure that you verify your address, you put in your tax information. If you are a minor, you will most likely have to put in your parents, and of course set up a bank account so that you can have a direct deposit instead of having a check mailed out to you. A second pro tip that I want to give you guys is you have to create eye-catching thumbnails. Thumbnails, in my opinion, are the first impressions of your video, and it can make or break it. So if you do not have an eye-catching thumbnail, nobody is going to click on your video and see how amazing your video is, as opposed to a video that's maybe okay or not as good, but because they have a attractive thumbnail, they're going to get the more views. As far as editing softwares, I have used both iMovie and Filmora. Both have their pros and cons, and I like them for specific reasons. I can totally make a different video if you guys are interested about the pros and cons of either editing software, but again, editing is also another thing that can make or break your video. You do not want a just plain old sit down video. You want your audience to engage with your content, whether it is like zooming into your face or showing them your screen or anything that will keep them engaged and keep them longer in your videos. Before you invest in any expensive equipment for your YouTube channel, make sure that this is something that you're passionate about and that you're really in love with, because it is countless hours of searching and mapping out your content, creating a script, filming and editing your videos, and doing all of the back end stuff for YouTube. You don't necessarily need to have the most expensive equipment. I actually started off my YouTube channel on my phone, and then I upgraded to the camera that I currently have, which is the Sony a6000. I do love this camera for a lot of reasons, but I am thinking of upgrading pretty soon just because I do have 2 years with it, and there are certain things that I wish this camera had that it doesn't. But like I said, you don't need to have the most expensive equipment. I actually still use my phone for a lot of my videos, such as like my shop with me's or vlogging, because sometimes it's a little bit more discreet and easy to maneuver than a big old giant camera. The last thing that I want to touch on is niche, and a lot of people will tell you that you have to find your niche, find your community, and that you have to niche down in order to succeed on the platform. And to a certain extent, yes, but don't niche down so much so that you run out of ideas and no longer have any content for your YouTube channel. You can argue that my channel is a lifestyle one just because of the different content that I have here, whether it's my motherhood, military, shop with me videos, Disney vlogs, or just videos like this where it has nothing to do with any other topic that I just mentioned previously, but because it is a lifestyle channel, I have a little bit more of a wiggle room to do a variety of videos. For the big reveal, how much did I earn in my very first YouTube paycheck? I actually made $151.09 in my very first paycheck. And I know that for most people that is not a lot of money, but for me it is. It is the significance of my hard work finally paying off, the fruit of my labor, and just especially the time that it came around, I was not expecting it at all. I was actually expecting to be paid out the following month in January of 2021, but lo and behold, I got my Google PIN last week. I put it in, and a few days before Christmas, I actually received my very first payment, which was honestly the best Christmas present I could have received. Just because, like I said, it's finally my hard work is paying off, and I just never really thought that I could be making money off of any social media platform, and I'm highly grateful for that. Let me grab my phone so that way I can show you what my CPM and RPM was, as well as any of my most top viewed videos. Hold on just a second. Going into my analytics, it's already telling me that for the month of December, I've made $73.25. And of course, the month of December is not over. I still have this last couple of days here that I am filming before we close out the month. Going into my revenue tab, my RPM is $8.14, while my CPM playback is $14.47, which is up by 10%. Both of these CPMs and RPMs, they're not usually this high. I think it has something to do with the fact that we're in the month of December, and usually this month is when everything goes up a little bit more. If you check back the last 7 days, whoa, the last 7 days, my CPM playback is actually $15.66, and the RPM is $8.26. In the last 90 days, my RPM was $7.38, and CPM was $14.17. And let's check at the beginning when I first started. Okay. It said that my RPM was $3.93, which sounds about right, and CPM playback was $11.51. My top earning videos, as you guys can see, is the first one, Selena, the Netflix series, which I highly recommend you guys watch. It did really well. I made $53.70 on that one. Following right next to it is how to get free baby stuff, Target, Amazon, Babylist, and Bye Bye Baby. I've made $33.80 on that one. And then we have the number 3 and 4 spot is taken by my Hobby Lobby Christmas video and the Hobby Lobby Fall Decor, coming in with $26.94 and then $16.98. We also have here my newborn video, newborn's first 24 hours, while closing that in at $9.26. So those are my most viewed videos right now. That is it for today's video. I hope that you do find this to be quite the resource for you and your YouTube monetization process, and that you enjoyed today's video, just me discussing what I earned in my very first paycheck along with a little bit of my analytics. If you enjoy these types of video, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down in the comment section below, as it does help me out with the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to join our hermosa familia, hit the subscribe button, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!
You go